Ilcon Radio, you're on the air.
Good evening. This is Michael Dorn, popularly known as Commander Worf on Deep Space Nine.
Commander Worf.
Guys, I told you I had a special guest coming in tonight.
Nice.
It's a call-in. It's Michael Dorn from Star Trek The Next Generation, Worf himself. Thank you so much for calling, Mr. Dorn. I knew you were going to call. I just knew it.
Big fan.
Thank you for saying so. I'm here with Jonathan Frakes this evening, and we're jamming some Rick Wakeman. One moment, please.
Where are you guys? I will drive any distance to come hang out with
Jonathan, please. Ease down. Ease down. Mr. Frakes has had a number of substance abuse issues. You could make an analogy to Charlie Sheen's problems. However, Jonathan Frakes wears a beard.
Which Wakeman album?
Is it, yeah.
Is it the Goal 82 World Cup soundtrack?
Is it Journey to the Center of the Earth, or is it the
Beat
Six
You.
Wives of Henry VIII? Or is
I'm
it no
having
Earthly
some
Connection?
Is it White Rock?
Or Live with
difficulty talking to you. Let me turn down my Rick Wakeman.
No, turn it up, man.
I want to hear some Rick Wakeman.
Don't fuck around. Turn it up.
You want to hear some Rick Wakeman?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wake us up with some
Another
Wakeman.
type of
Wakeman
genre that I'm
call.
interested in is the Manhattan Transfer,
Oh,
Richard
Jesus.
Marx, and the Rippingtons.
I love Richard Marx.
Dude, if
But
you go...
tonight we're
if you...
just keeping it mellow, keeping it into subspace. I'm going to jam some Michael McDonald later. Jonathan Frakes has been having some difficulties tonight, and I don't really want to get into the details, but
Mr. Dorn, does he have the goatee or does he not have the goatee tonight?
Mr. Frakes?
Yes.
Mr. Frakes, as always, has a full beard. This beard is Mr. Frakes' trademark signature and means for associating himself with attorneys
Jonathan Frakman?
that are female.
So, Mr. Dorn, thank you so much for calling in. This is an honor. This is one of my favorite actors. You guys this is Ilcon Radio. You're listening to Michael Dorn Worf from Star Trek The Next Generation.
I loved you in Stargate SGI.
Commander Worf, because I have moved up in the ranks.
You were also good in chips, too, man.
I loved you in Worf on Golf. That was a good one.
That's a great deal.
Thank you very much. I also narrated several History Channel documentaries about Project Blue Book and the evidentiary evidence of unidentified flying objects.
Did
Now,
you
I
mean
didn't
Project
have
Blue
any
Beam?
Project Blue Book.
But
I didn't have any connection with David Duchovny or Gillian Anderson, at least unfortunately.
I have a point question. Before you started on Star Trek, I know you did some Shakespeare work, and you started your gig as one of the backup patrolmen in Chips. Who was an easier person to work with? Was it Larry Wilcox or Eric Estrada?
Well, I'll
go
tell
with
you
Estrada.
something about my early experiences. I worked with Larry Wilcox. I worked with Eric Estrada. And at the time, are you familiar with a type of dipped marijuana cigarette called dippers?
Absolutely, I am.
in
Yes, I'm
America?
well acquainted with dippers.
As is
Right.
Mr. Frakes.
They will dip the cigarettes in formaldehyde or Ajax cleanser or some other sort of material.
I heard that
and-
spraying Windex on your pot will enhance the stone. Is that true?
Exactly. So what I would
Exactly.
do is I'm sorry?
Exactly. Go
I'm
on.
just.
I had some difficulties
Pull it
as a
together.
young man. I was a bouncer. I was involved in mixed martial arts, and I would tend to ride motorcycles after Hollywood shoots while under the influence of formaldehyde to dip cigarettes.
I used to,
Were you
yeah.
a joker? Were you a smoker? Were you a midnight toker?
Absolutely not.
All right, just making sure.
The
That's funny that
astronomy and the cosmos, which formed my later career. However, Eric Estrada and I, at times, were at loose ends. And I'll say that
Jesus.
because while Estrada is more of an earthy character,
He's
I
a
was
bastard, I hear.
I'm sorry.
Nothing. Go on.
He does enjoy going fast, but I prefer a cerebral approach, and my best friend Jonathan Frakes, he's my roommate now, will probably concur if we can wake him up. You mind one moment?
No problem.
Wake
Commander
the Frake.
Frank?
Wake the Frake.
Jonathan Frank.
Yay!
I'm going to need you to speak to a radio program, and I believe that Corbin Bernstein is one of the hosts. Maybe a chance for you. Jonathan, hold on one moment, please. I'm going to speak to him in Klingon. Hopefully that will jar his amygdala. One moment. You are my chadich. It's not working. I'll try.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. We have enough questions for you. If he does happen to wake up, let us know. All right. I have two more questions. Mr. Dorn, I have a couple questions for you. Then Mean Dave, I know.
Okay. It's
What
going
is
to be a
me?
disappointment.
Yeah, I have some questions for you
He's anxious to
myself.
go. So, Mr. Dorn, I want to know one thing.
Yes, sir.
The gentleman that played Data.
Right.
What's his name? I forget.
Ryan Gosling.
Thank you. Yes, Ryan Gosling.
No, I think it's Ryan Reynolds.
No, that's
No, it's
No,
Brent
he's
something.
right. He's right. Brent Spiner. I know about Brent Spiner that he had the most, much like being in a band where the drummer gets the most girls. Brent Spiner had the most groupies on the set
I'm sorry.
of Star Trek.
I think you touched a
must
nerve.
correct you that, in fact, Ryan Gosling played Data.
Okay,
and
thank
this
you.
was
Exactly.
before his reconstructive
Thank you.
surgery that allowed him to further go on to play in sensitive movies geared toward more, wives and girlfriends. But at the beginning of 1987, this was Ryan Gosling at a very young age with a lot of makeup. The other actor, Brent Spiner, is a figment of the imagination.
Did you ever do dippers with Patrick Stewart?
Well, what we did do with Patrick
Or as we
Stewart
like to call him, Stu Beef.
we argued because Patrick Stewart, as is well known, suffers from an extreme case of endometriosis. And when he ovulates, he will attempt to drink different cordials, blackberry, blueberry, and different cordials, and will want to argue. He's a tremendous fan of Nine Inch Nails and has a rather uncomfortable fascination between the sexual tension that exists in the 21st century between Captain Kirk and Science Officer Spock. And we'll go on and on about this. And so we try to divert him from this, but when he drinks his blackberry cordials, he's quite a different person than he is on screen, let's just say.
Did you ever do
That's quite
dippers with
obvious.
Patrick Swayze?
Oh, I've done quite a bit of dippers with...
Oh, dude, man.
All right.
Quite a bit
Bring
of
us a
dippers
train of
with
English.
Swayze.
Something's wrong here.
I'll
with
tell you
the-
something, that Patrick Swayze, as well as Daryl Hannah, great buddies of mine, were...
I love Daryl Hannah. It's come out recently that Daryl Hannah is a big pot smoker. She goes to all the cannabis clubs in Los Angeles. That's what came out this week on the news.
Dippers.
We really wanted to beam her aboard for an episode, but
Hey-o!
I don't think she
Michael-
smokes, man.
Michael Dorn, my friend Mean Dave has a question for you.
yes, sir.
Yeah. You any relation to Sweet Gale?
Sweet Gale was an individual that I was very close to in the early 1970s before
Nice.
I got started in science fiction. This is a person that I haven't spoken to in quite a long time. I believe at this time she suffers from muscular dystrophy. My heart goes out to Sweet Gale, but
You're
I
close.
don't believe... Pardon?
Oh, I think it's just arthritis, actually, but more than muscular dystrophy.
That's correct, arthritis. But
Yeah.
it could be Romulan-induced or Ferengi-induced arthritis, which
She
is
might
a
agree.
particularly virulent strain.
That's interesting because I wanted to talk about some
Have you
alien-induced
spoken to
stuff.
David Duchovny about this issue? Because I know that he's also a medical doctor.
Hey, I got Davey D who's coming on the show in about 3 weeks. Davey D's coming on. David Duchovny himself.
Excellent. And do you have Jillian?
No, I couldn't get Jillian. I got David Duchovny
Her
from. I
agent's pain.
tweeted at Gary Shandling, and he hooked me up.
Oh, excellent. Well, Gary Shandling, I'll tell you a couple of things about Gary Shandling.
Go ahead, sir.
Be very wary around Mr. Shandling.
You ever do dippers with Shandling?
Well, he's not a human being.
Couple dippies?
I don't know if you're familiar with
Dippy,
my
dippy, doo, da.
hosting of the 1995 special, Where Are the UFOs, on the History Channel.
Oh, I know. I have that on VHS.
I have it on
Excellent.
Laserdisc.
Right. Gary
I smoke
Shandling
dippers,
played
and
a
then I watch it
rather
on
prominent role.
Laserdisc.
You should watch
It's
an
true.
beta on Dippers.
And it's funny that you should mention Gary Shandling because he had about 14 minutes of coverage in this special, and we paid particular attention to the fact that he has a frog-like demeanor and a
Frog-like?
malformed face.
I had another question.
Yes, sir.
Dave has another question.
Who don't you know?
I'm sorry?
Who do you not know?
Who
And
do I not
why?
know?
And who do you not know and why?
Well, there are several species in the Romulan subspace.
Mr. Dorn, it's okay. You don't have to answer that question. Before we go, I just want to know, what are you up to now? Are you still working? Are you doing the Star Trek convention circuit, the cruises? George Takei, what are you doing?
Well, I was involved with George Takei for a short time, but there was some misunderstanding. And what originally started as some assistance to repair his automobile turned into something that I found rather uncomfortable. He attempted to make a dinner for me, which frankly, all I wanted to do was replace the starter on his Isuzu. So it's been a little while since we've talked to George Takei. However, we have some projects in the work. I don't talk to Shatner at all. He has advanced Alzheimer's disease, as you may know. But
He never brought you on Raw Nerve?
I'm sorry?
Raw Nerve, Shatner's talk show? He never had you on?
Exactly. Him
Weak
and
sauce.
Henry Rollins are getting together for a talk show.
I know. I saw the previews at the upfronts. It's not good. It's
I'm
about
not
as good
sure
as
if it's
Whitney.
fair.
All right, Mr. Dorn. I thought that was a crazy call. I gotta process everything you said. And call us back when you get Mr. Franks up, please.
Very good. I'm going to work on getting Mr. Franks up, Commander Franks. He's been smoking a lot of dippers and was very excited about this tonight. So,
Any last
if
thoughts?
we can get him up later.
I had
then
another
we'll-
question.
Yeah.
In summation.
I had another question.
Yes, sir.
Can we end your phone call?
Hey-oh.